Welcome back to LEGO Wars and Heat L of Series 5. Last time out it took a sudden death decider to sort out who had to deal with the play-ins from our tied trio as both seeded machines crashed out. This week it's the turn of two-time quarterfinalists 23 Red starting their Series 5 campaign as the 6th seeds alongside the swinging hammersaws Scorpios seeded 19th. Let's see who else will be at the roulette table tonight.
First, from Hinkley and seeded number 6, 23 Red.
The dual spinner has made the top 8 in the last two series and we'll be hoping its swapped to powered up drive will help tip them closer to the title.
From Moraga, California and seeded number 19, Scorpios.
The original hammersaw in LEGO Wars finally made the bracket last year, however this new frame has only finished hours before International 5 and has shown teething issues.
From Adelaide, Annie.
The Aussie undercutter has underwhelmed in the last two series and could really do with a breakout performance to show it still has what it takes.
From the Isle of Sheppey, Disgruntled Guardian.
The speedy rookies made a promising start in the recent international special but have shown their frame is susceptible to horizontal damage which could cost them tonight.
From Brisbane, Chompy.
The grizzled veterans are back for a fourth tilt at the title as they aim to replicate some of their fellow retcon build Shatterstar's glory. Much like last week, we start tonight's action with a grudge match dating back from Series 3 between 23 Red and Chompy. The 6th seeds were making their debut last time they fought Chompy and boy did they make a statement as they ripped off the grabbing mechanism, but in what would become a theme for the dual disc spinner they couldn't finish the job before the bell, so let's see if they can do it this time.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Let's see who is going to take some L's then in Heat L as we see our 6th seeds 23 Red kicking things off against established LEGO Wars veteran Chompy, who of course did pretty well last series, went out in the round of 32, did well to recover in International 5, coming 3rd in that competition, but I think the favourites for this fight and maybe even for the entire heat is 23 Red for sure in my mind because they are a very, very potent and effective robot with those two big disc spinners, and there goes the wheel of Chompy. That is very uncommon. We don't normally see damage like that to Chompy. Chompy in all kinds of trouble now with one side of drive. It very much limits their strategy, their hopes and dreams of trying to win this fight because 23 Red now can just pick their shots and snipe off anything that they want to. Chompy will be doing very well from here to win this one, and they're being counted down and out. Are they getting out of their circumference? They don't think so, and there goes the other wheel. 23 Red gets the other wheel as well, so they're not going to be getting back into the action now. 23 Red, easy as you like, 3 points on the board, a simple win for our 6 seeds. Well, Chompy are a very established veteran of LEGO Wars, as I said, and 23 Red made them look very, very easy to beat. 23 Red were able to snipe the one side of drive here, look, smacking it clean off and set rolling free into the arena. From then on in, Chompy's very much limited in what he can actually do to 23 Red, and 23 Red took advantage of that and caused more damage to Chompy. The sort of dragonfly mantis style head didn't really help him there, helped them even less here when the other wheel went.
A swift wheel plucking from the 6th seeds to start their campaign with a KO for the first time. Let's see if fellow seeds Scorpios can be equally successful as they face Annie.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Away we go then for fight number 2 of the night. Annie versus Scorpios, our 19th seeds. And there goes the weapon chain immediately off of Scorpios. It just shredded itself from the word go. The 19th seeds now sans weapon, and well, they'll be hoping to try and do some more damage to Annie. Are you okay? But that going immediately has kind of stopped that plan in its tracks, so they'll have to use their revamped drive system, the new drive system on Scorpios, matching that of the new version of Scorpios that has been designed, the what would be Series 8 or Season 8 version of Scorpios, but of course we haven't had Season 8 yet, so waiting, Greg, come on, where is it? Sort it out that TV deal. Anyway, Scorpios backs towards the pit. Annie, are you okay? Standing off in the middle of the arena, not getting that weapon up to speed at the moment. They're trying their best, but they just can't seem to shift through the gears, and Scorpios' drive power and superiority is being exercised here. Annie, are you okay? Stuck against the arena wall, and can it get away from there? It's very close to the pit. A wheel dips itself into the pit. They're spinning the wheel in midair. Scorpios comes in with another attack, and down goes Annie into the pit. They are not okay. Scorpios picks up the win and 3 points. Well, as I said, from the word activate, the weapon chain came flying off of Scorpios. Their luck discarded over by the screws, and that kind of meant that their main weapon was out of commission from the word go. But they still had this superior drive power and pushing power on their side, which they used to great effect, boxing Annie over by the arena wall and the pit. Annie couldn't get away due to their extreme width, and in the end, Scorpios came in just to knock them down the pit.
Despite using their chain straight away, Scorp managed to control the undercutter into the pit to take the 3 points. Now it's the grumpy looking Disgruntled Guardian making their main series debut against the seeded 23 Red.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Our third fight of the night, then, Disgruntled Guardian is straight away box rushing over to 23 Red. Disgruntled Guardian, of course, we saw in the international special. We were impressed by their drive, power and manoeuvrability around the arena. Look, it's very zippy, isn't it? Based off of Ragnarok from BattleBots. And you have to say, the eyes do give off some Jack Tweedy energy, don't they? They really do. 23 Red, that weapon up to speed at the rear, as you look at it now at the front, and there goes the entire front wedge of Disgruntled Guardian. They must be very disgruntled now. It's based off a old Yu-Gi-Oh! The Abridged series reference. If you remember that series, you're an OG, but oh my word, what a turnaround! Look at that! Disgruntled Guardian has pushed the 6 seeds down the pit! Disgruntled Guardian is the winner! What a turnaround that is! I'm stunned! 23 Red in the pit. It's all over.
Oh no. Sorry. Oh no.
Well, we saw a bit of a precursor as to what might happen right from the get-go. Disgruntled Guardian so quick out of the traps and has that enormous pushing power. 23 Red, we saw a little bit of what they're capable of too, destroying the entire wedge look of Disgruntled Guardian. That's a massive failure point there. They'll be hopeful that doesn't happen again, but what a turnaround. Disgruntled Guardian pushing 23 Red, the 6 seeds, down the pit and circling in delight.
23 Red appears to have gotten stuck on some debris as the faceless Disgruntled Guardian secures another quick KO tonight. Meanwhile, it's more rematch time as the Aussies take on one another. Annie's first fight in LEGO Wars was against Chompy back in International 3, where the latter got a rare lift from the suplex experiment it had that year. Annie has improved its stability since then, so let's see if it can get past the 2-minute mark.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
Annie and Chompy then will both be hopeful of a better start to the heats. Oh my goodness, Annie just lures herself straight at the wall from the get-go. There goes Annie's face. Well, what I was going to say before I was kind of distracted by what Annie was doing was these two will be hoping for a better fight in this fight than they did at the start. Both of them knocked out in their first match. Of course, Chompy, both wheels removed by 23 Red. Annie, are you okay? Pitted by Scorpios, and I'll be honest with you, I think the writing is on the wall here for Annie, because Chompy is very, very good at corralling and controlling their opponents. Everything that Annie does not really deal that well with. The weapon at the front is potent if they can keep it running, but Chompy is so beautifully driven, so well controlled. It has that enormous bucket at the front with all those forks to get in underneath and control their opponents. The ground game meta is real, and it is here, folks. But so far, you have to say, Annie, are you okay? Still in the contention.
6.
Until that moment, they just drive themselves down the pit and does Chompy's job for them. Well, after a bit of a false start, we did get some quality action in there. Annie using their weapon to, well, mediocre effect, ripping off their own face with the impact and the shock going back into their robot from Chompy. Chompy using the arena beautifully, guiding Annie where they wanted to go, opening the pit, and then they just drove themselves down. Easy.
We're really speeding through the fights tonight as we shoot into fight 5 of the night between the 19th seed Scorpios and Disgruntled Guardian.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
We saw how impressive Disgruntled Guardian was in their opening match, didn't we, against 23 Red. They got their other seeds in Scorpios next up. Scorpios will be hoping that they don't shred their weapon chain immediately from the start this time, and they haven't done so. They've managed to get one good impact in there on Disgruntled Guardian, but there goes the chain, and that will be, once again, Scorpios not being able to use their weapon to full effectiveness. It's kind of swallowed the chain as well underneath the robot. That will not help their ground clearance and manoeuvrability. They've got rid of it now. That's good for them. Scorpios has also lost one of its wedgelets, and it hits the pit button. Pit button doesn't go fully down, or the pit doesn't go fully down, now it does so. Disgruntled Guardian will be maybe hoping to get another knockout win, maybe push Scorpios down the pit, the 19 seeds down the pit as well. Disgruntled Guardian going to try and nudge Scorpios back maybe, but they have stopped momentarily. Scorpios trying to get away from the pit. Disgruntled Guardian not massively keen just to launch into full forward and push Scorpios down because they know they may just, end up going down themselves. There's every possibility. Disgruntled Guardian a little slower now. Are they okay? Scorpios. Maybe they did cause some damage to Disgruntled Guardian earlier on. No, they're okay again. Maybe they're thermaling. Who knows? Well, Scorpios is able to get some damage off with its weapon not in spinning mode, so that's nice to see. One of the eyes of Disgruntled Guardian torn away, and Scorpios now comes down with the hammer again. I suppose it is just a hammer at this point, isn't it? Because they haven't got the spinning bit. But look at this, Disgruntled Guardian. They're struggling, aren't they? They're not as active and as, energetic as they were in that first fight against 23 Red, and Scorpios need to be careful not to drive down the pit. My word, I thought they was going to go straight down then. Into the screws goes Disgruntled Guardian. They're really struggling, aren't they, with something, because Disgruntled Guardian were not this sluggish and lethargic in the first fight, and they're being counted down and out here. Can they get away from the screws? Scorpio spins into the light. Couple of seconds left on the time. Oh my word, they get away just in the nick of time with 2 seconds left on the timer. Disgruntled Guardian, but they are still unhappy, aren't they? They're not traversing across the arena as they would like. Scorpios at the moment has kind of free rein to do what they want to do with them, but they're not able to kind of control them and corral them maybe into the pit. Maybe they'd like to do that, but they're not really able to do so because at the moment it's kind of in an awkward spot for the Disgruntled Guardian. Of course, as I said earlier, in International, the kind of axe mech is based off of that in Aggro Wobber. They'll have to be hoping that they'll do a little bit better than Aggro Wobber did in this series, because Aggro Wobber were pretty poor, weren't they? We have to remember back to whatever heat they were in, but they were down to the last few seconds now. We are going to get a time between these two. Our judges are going to have to decide between Disgruntled Guardian and Scorpios. It wasn't a classic. It was definitely one for the purists, and I don't envy the judges for this one. Well, we did get to see a full weapon strike from Scorpios there. Look, we got to see video evidence of that happening, but the weapon chain once again coming off left them mostly weaponless in this fight. They did have the hammer actuator, but they didn't have the spinning mass at the end of it. Disgruntled Guardian, though, what has happened to them? Their energy, their, gusto in that first fight we saw against 23 Red, nowhere to be seen in this fight, and Scorpios were able to pick their moments throughout the match.
And the winner by unanimous decision is Scorpios. Scorpios drags the average fight time up a chunk as they go top at the halfway point. Annie meanwhile remains rooted at the bottom of the table and could well be out of contention if they fail to pick up points against 23 Red.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Halfway through the heat then, how would you assess each of these robots' performances so far? I'd say 23 Red would be maybe a C, considering they lost their second match to Disgruntled Guardian. They won their first against Chompy. Annie, are you okay? Probably a U, I'd have to say. They probably ungraded. They didn't turn up for the exam because, well, let's face it, they're on no points, and they are. I don't think they're going to get any points here because 23 Red are shredding Annie. Look at the state of it. It's getting pieces knocked off it left, right, and centre, and Annie is stopped in the middle of the arena now. 23 Red comes in for another attack. That weapon up to speed at the front and the rear. Look at them, they're both spinning up to speed. We love to see it when it happens. Both weapons fully up to speed. 23 Red trying to come in for another attack. Annie, are you okay? Okay. I don't think so. Annie, there's no life in that robot. And the timer starts. And Annie once again defeated. 23 Red cruising to another 3 points and another victory. Annie defeated. And I think surely now we'll be out of LEGO Wars Series 5. It's a shame for them, but it's a bit of a mountain to climb from here. Well, Annie started off okay against 23 Red. They did cause some damage to the 6 seeds, but as soon as those weapons got going on 23 Red, it was one-way traffic. Bits and pieces of Annie flying off everywhere. Big impact after big impact. Their face came off, as is tradition, of course. And Annie here just stopped still and didn't get going again. Not looking great for them. They'll be heading back to us with some tales of some horrors in the arena.
A quick KO from 23 Red sends Annie packing for another series as they overtake Scorpios at the top of the table. However, the 19th seeds could retake first if they get revenge from the recent international against Chompy.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
Away we go then for fight number 7 of the night. Chompy and Scorpios face to face. Both of these two on fight number 3 of the night. Will Scorpios' weapon chain last the full match? I don't think so, but I remain to be proven wrong. Chompy hits the pit button, doesn't go down the pit all the way. Scorpios has lost one of its front forks. Chompy hasn't lost any of theirs, and down comes that grabbing arm at the top. Sort of, I say, praying mantis-esque, maybe? I'm not sure. Some kind of insect, I think. Comments, correct me if I'm wrong. Scorpios has lost both of its kind of two braces at the rear of the robot, and now Chompy hits the pit button in the beautiful split-screen camera editing. Thank you, Editor David, for that one. Scorpios, meanwhile, has lost a side of drive here, and that could very much hamper their ability to try and win this fight and try and survive this fight, because at the moment Chompy is doing all it needs to do to take home a valuable couple of points against another seeded robot. Chompy, they didn't get any points against 23 Red, but they've been doing solid work since then. They pitted Annie, or Annie pitted themselves technically, and now Chompy has another opportunity to pick up another 3 points here against the wounded Scorpios. The 19 seeds being back towards the pit. Scorpios on the very lip, and down they go. Chompy pits Scorpios and takes home another 3 points for their campaign this series. Well, call me surprised, the weapon chain of Scorpios did survive the entire fight. It's just a shame that Chompy pushed them down the pit, really. Scorpios struggling for drive on one side definitely hampered them there, and controllability in the fight severely hampered. I don't know whether it was the grab there that affected it or not. I don't entirely know. Chompy from there able to control the match and push Scorpios down the pit.
While the chain remained attached, one side of drive definitely wasn't on Scorpios as they fall to third with that result. Both our seeds may fall further down the standings if Disgruntled Guardian can take a win from Annie's last fight.
Send it. That didn't seem...
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
Well, any hope of Annie being the first robot this series not to go completely pointless revolves around this fight and beating Disgruntled Guardian, who I think is actually quite a decent little newcomer when it's working properly. I hope they've fixed their drive issues, whatever they may have been in the last fight, but they're also perfectly suited to take it on Annie. Annie will be hoping they can get that weapon into play there and do some damage like that. Rip off one of the eyes off of Disgruntled Guardian. Disgruntled Guardian gets round the back, trying to chase Annie down. Annie circling in the middle of the arena, spinning on the spot. Disgruntled Guardian pins them against the wall. Down comes the hammer once. Maybe a second time. Nope, doesn't bring it down again. Using that big plough at the front to bully and corral Annie into the corner. Annie, once again, having a pretty torrid time of things in LEGO Wars. Their third series. Maybe their final series after this attempt. Maybe they need to realise that the design isn't quite what it should be. Need to do better. But currently spinning around next to Disgruntled Guardian, both of them good fun robots in the arena. Again, the quality of the designs, the variety of the designs, and the way they all look in LEGO Wars is superb. We always love to see variations on different theories, and Annie zipping around the arena is always good fun to see. They've been a good part of LEGO Wars over the years, but I think maybe they need to reassess and redesign something for next time. Annie stuck on the spikes, on the screws even. Are we going to see a knockout on the screws, a rare one in the LEGO Wars arena? But Disgruntled Guardian stands off. Annie, are you okay? I think the answer is no. They are stuck on the screws, and we are down and being counted out. Oh, Annie, they are going to be the first robot in all of LEGO Wars Series 5 to go home with no points on the board. It's such a shame. But Annie beaten, Disgruntled Guardian taking the knockout win. There comes a time in every competitor's life when they realise they have to stop, and I think this is the moment to stop for Annie. Are you okay? They're well beaten here by Disgruntled Guardian, a newcomer to LEGO Wars, although I have to say Disgruntled Guardian were much better and back to their best, I felt, in this fight. Much better control, much faster around the arena. They bullied and, basically just toyed with Annie. Are you okay? Annie, are you okay? Did get some hits off, but not enough. In the end, pushed onto the screws, and a vital 3 points for Disgruntled Guardian.
An out-of-control Annie gets jammed up on the screws, consigning them to be the only robot so far this series to go pointless. DG, however, now tops the standings and can confirm themselves as the Heat winners if they beat the grabbing Chompy.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
Our penultimate fight of the night then, Disgruntled Guardian and Chompy, both of these two both in contention to qualify for the bracket. A win for either of them basically guarantees them a bracket spot. A win via knockout for Disgruntled Guardian, or in fact any win for Disgruntled Guardian, wins them the Heat at their first attempt for a rookie. Very impressive from them. Chompy, they can win the Heat, just depends on how the final fight of the night goes. Chompy at the moment circling around. Disgruntled Guardian, are they suffering the same drive issues that they were earlier on as they did against Scorpios? No, they seem okay again now. Back into the action, that hammer swing was a bit lethargic. Scorpios, of course, will be fighting later on. Chompy, their current opponent. It's kind of similar in profile to Scorpios in terms of that they have a big low plough at the front with the two wheels at the back. Disgruntled Guardian will be conscious of that, though they can be pushed around and can be bullied if their drive does start playing up again. And Chompy onto the arena spikes. Chompy gets away from there. Disgruntled Guardian swings the hammer, misses. Chompy reverses back to the centre of the arena. And what are they doing? They've driven straight down the pit! Chompy, what have you done? Oh, it's a disaster for them! Disgruntled Guardian is the winner and have won the Heat! Well, I think Disgruntled Guardian may have got all away with one here, because I think that their drive issues from the Scorpios fight did rear their head once again. They did manage to swing the hammer a few times onto Chompy. Chompy were able to get in underneath more often than not, but I mean, what a driving error. We'll get to that in a minute. Chompy were able to swing their grabber down a few times. They did get stuck on the spikes as well after opening the pit themselves, but they just drove straight down the pit. What are you doing, lads?
Chompy decides to live dangerously and launches itself into the pit and into a precarious third place going into a final fight between the seeds. 23 Red are guaranteed at worst a berth in the play-ins, however after topping the Heat at half-time, Scorpios has to win their final fight to confirm themselves a spot in the brackets. Let's see if they can hold on.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
As always, our two seeds come together for the final fight of the night. 23 Red taking on Scorpios. Eerily similar, it has to be said, to Scorpios versus Rotator from all those years ago in BattleBots. And once again, there goes the weapon chain of Scorpios. And Scorpios will have a big challenge now to beat the 6 seeds without their main weapon. And of course, don't forget, every single time it's been applicable this series, the lower seed has won against the higher seed. So 23 Red will be hoping to put that record to bed. If they don't, they'll be out of the competition as one of the favourites of the competition from the get-go. That will be a big shame for them. Scorpios, if they don't win, they are also out. I don't think there is a world in which both of them can qualify, although I suppose they could do. If Scorpios wins via the judges, then one of them will get a playoff spot, but I don't think that's going to happen because Scorpios has had a wheel failure. Look on that one-hand side of the robot. It's kind of been pulled away, and it's a horrible camber, isn't it? Look at that. I think that's now happened to both sides of the robot as well now. Scorpios is immobilised in the centre of the arena. They are being counted down and counted out, and for the first time in LEGO Wars Series 5, the higher seed is going to win the seed match at the end of the heat. 23 Red knocks Scorpios out and gets all 3 points. A professional by-the-numbers performance by 23 Red. The weapon chain of Scorpios going immediately didn't help it, but from then on in, it was just a systematic pulling apart of all of Scorpios' systems. Their weapon was already down, of course. From then on in, it was just hitting the sensitive bits, really. Scorpios lost one side of drive there from one impact from the discs. The other disc came swooping round here, look, and hit the other wheel, and that was the end of the fight. Scorpios fully disabled, 23 Red, the worthy winner.
And so 23 Red breaks the run of lower seeds, winning the final fight as they book in their heat with another wheelectomy. It's been a super speedy night of action in the arena as so many of our fights were under 90 seconds, but through it all it's the rookies Disgruntled Guardian taking a surprise heat win while 23 Red escaped an early error to show their destructive best to make the bracket. That's all from us tonight, but join us next time when the reigning All-Stars champs Shatterstar shoot for the main series glory. For now though, I've been your host David of Smeg, and we'll see you in the next one.
cut it. I can cut it. I can cut it.
That will just load up a JPEG.
Green one first, Nick.
Now we're cooking.
Hi Switchback, how are you? Switchback's just going crazy out there. Oh god! Do you want to start over?
Yeah, let's start over.
Switchback's just been dropped on its face outside.